streaming on Twitch. Let's see how it looks. We are streaming on Twitch. This will be the test of my new modem to see how the bandwidth holds up during the stream. It held up pretty well on Tuesday when I did my live stream. Nice. All right, so on Dementia Radio now and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast, brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice.
Hey, Luke Ski.
In the house.
Your microphone is cutting out, Luke.
Oh, no.
And as Luke said, Two Sleeps is in the house. Hi, Mike.
Hey.
Welcome to episode 721 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, April 11th, 2024. Title of this week's episode is A Blessed Udder, for no reason whatsoever. So, your job is to work that into our conversations somehow. And let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey.
What?
No, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, a lot, actually. Just to think that all of this happened just in the past week kind of melts my brain. Last Friday, I picked up Carrie Delby at the airport and brought her over to Burbank in the afternoon. And then in the evening, I went out to Palmdale, California, which I didn't make the connection is the home of Afro Man, and went out to a live show that the headliner was Green Jello, a.k.a. Green Jelly. That's how it's spelled for legal reasons, but we still say Green Jello because we're punk, I guess.
I believe the Y with the umlaut is pronounced O. I think that's what they're doing.
Really? Okay. So, cool. So, yeah, so that was a pretty epic show. Oh, also, Bonehenge was there. They
cool.
were one of the 5 opening acts. I missed the first opening act. They were the second. I saw their whole set. And then the other 3 acts leading up to Green Jello were just other members of Green Jello having various bands. So it was various. it was very much like the FuMP in some ways. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, they did a whole 1-hour set and it was great. I put some footage of it up at the Dr. Demento page, the Facebook group, so you can see that there. So that was a trip. And then on Saturday the 6th, a good friend of Dr. Demento's had put together a more or less surprise party for Dr. Demento on Saturday the 6th at a restaurant out near where he lives in Lakewood. And a whole bunch of people from the FuMP across the country were invited to it, as well as a bunch of the, Dr. Demento regulars from back in the day. And lo and behold, a whole bunch of people came out for it. Unfortunately, Devo Spice was not one of them.
Yes, I couldn't. I was invited. I unfortunately couldn't make it because last week I was in North Carolina, and I tried to figure out a way I could get back from North Carolina in time to fly to California for the party, and there was just no way. I tried.
Yeah, 'cause just looking around the room, you're basically, as far as like representation of like many of the key players of the FuMP over the FuMP's history is concerned, it's like you were the only one that was missing. So, because it was.
I should have had somebody print out like a head, like a life-size head of me, just like and stick it on a chair or something.
But yeah, there was Charisma's Lesta Power Salad, Shoebox of Worm Quartet, Tony Goldmark, TV's Kyle. Lindsay was going to go, but she was feeling a little bit ill, and she decided it would be better to be on the safe side and stay home and not get a bunch of primarily old people at the party ill, by accident. Let's see who else. Insane Ian, Steve Goody, Carla Ulbrich, Grandpa Choco showed up along with Toilet Tea Paper, and of course the Needle Juice crew of Jace McClain, Austin Eschliman, and Kendra Shepard. I think that's everyone I can, off the top of my head, from the FuMP that was there. Not to mention, of course, luminaries like Whimsical Will was there, Musical Mike, Sulu, Jungle Judy, Very Carey, John Bermuda Schwartz showed up, so that was nice. And in fact, Steve J showed up as well, so that was kind of cool too. So, and that was Saturday afternoon. In the evening, having nothing else specifically planned, Shoebox and Chris came out here to Burbank where Carrie and Ian were both staying, to my apartment, and we all just hung out at my place and played like Quiplash and stuff like that and just had fun. And then on Sunday, I took Carrie to the airport because she had to get back to Illinois. In the afternoon, Rob Schraub of the Dead Alewives fame and Scud the Disposable Assassin and working with Dan Harmon on shows like Community and Rick and Morty, he had this live stream thing from his website SchraubHomeVideo.com that was a 30th anniversary special for Scud the Disposable Assassin, where it was him and voice actor Eric Bauza, who is from Magiswords and tons of other stuff, and they were just basically talking about the whole history of the comic, and they did an interview with a comic book artist named Jim Mahfood, who I actually went to college with in Kansas City, and about 12 minutes into the thing, because like they're doing interview segments and then kind of taking quote unquote commercial breaks to show videos of like things from the history of Scud, and like 12 minutes into it they played the music video for my song Scud that I made back in 2008 for his fan film contest.
Nice.
So then when they came out of that, they had a bunch of really nice things to say about me. It's just a weird coincidence that all three of those guys know who I am. So that was super cool of them. And I only got to watch like the first hour and a half of it. He might be. He said at some point that he was going to put it up on like kind of a continuous loop and keep playing that video for some number of days. So it still might be playing right now. I don't know, at SchraubHomeVideo.com. That's SCHRAB HomeVideo.com. If anyone wants to see if that's still there. And then in the evening, Kalani met up with me and we all went out to Chatsworth to the house of Sulu. Because Sulu was hosting a Steve Goody house concert, and basically, all the same people who I just mentioned for the most part were there.
All the people who already own all of Steve Goody's albums, so he didn't make any money, basically.
Yeah, basically. And this time, Kalani was there with me, and I didn't realize that Barry was going to come, but he was at that as well. So I was like, oh, cool. So Kalani got to meet Barry, which was nice. And it was a fun party. Steve, the bulk of Steve's show was him doing the tribute to Weird Al of Daniel Radcliffe, which is like at least the third time I've seen that entire concert. So he did some other stuff before it and some other stuff after it. And then when it was supposed to be like the end of the show, like he was like, thank you. And he walked off like the stage, and we're just kind of waiting for, we're not sure if this is his actual end of the show or if it's another fake out end of the show. And then Steve just kind of leans his head back in. It's like, okay, well, we're done. I seriously don't have anything else planned. And then it just kind of turned into this weird, us taking turns getting up and doing songs. Like I started with the Needle Juice peeps, so, and I'm forgetting the names of the songs that they did, but one of the, like Kendra and Jace did a cover of a King Missile song. Austin did his song. His song was called Ode to Procreation, which is a forthcoming song from whatever the name of his current band is. With Jace doing this, what's the word I'm looking for? Narration bit, like a sex ed narrator. Jace actually also did this song with them at MarsCon 2023, but the way he did it back then, it was kind of like he was yelling it like he was sort of like I'm kind of picturing it like this is some, pearl clutching mom, from the South reading this at like a Senate hearing for,
Yeah, I remember seeing him perform that.
It's like the penis goes in the vagina. It was like the over the top delivery, but now it's more of a what you typically hear on a, well, the penis goes in the vagina and blah blah blah. It's like a very Chris Mazzalesta reading of of that sort of thing.
I saw the video of Dr. Demento singing "Shaving Cream."
Oh yeah, and then because at one point when I was looking over to Chris Mazzalesta because I knew that from conventions past that he and I could perform the song "Gonna Buy Me a Dog" by the Monkees, so we did that, and then other people did other stuff, and then somebody suggested Barry get up so that they could do "Shaving Cream," and since Chris Mazzalesta had done his parody of "Shaving Cream" a few years back, Charlie Sheen, Chris basically knew the chords, so Chris got up on the piano and started playing it, and then I think Steve had a ukulele and somebody else had a guitar, so it was now 3 instruments and Dr. D, and then because Shoebox happened to be standing up there at the time, and somebody managed to pull up the lyrics on the phone so that we could just sing the original lyrics so Barry wouldn't have to make up new ones.
Yeah. I have an original verse for Shaving Cream all ready to go, and I need to perform it in front of Dr. Demento someday. And I saw that video, and I was like, I was so close. I was right there.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe, we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. But then basically went back to my day job, and there was a news article released in the LA Times today about the Ease delivery drivers, preparing to go on strike, which, would, basically on next week's FuMPCast, you'll find out whether or not we went on strike or not. So what we are hoping the CEO management will do is just, cave in and give us what we want so we don't have to go on strike. But if they don't, by the 18th, we're going to start striking. And for those of you not hip to weed culture, April 20th is a big deal because 420, man. So it's literally their biggest sales day of the year. So that's why we're choosing right now to do this strike and, be like, well, if you want to lose out on the biggest sales day of the year, you should probably meet our demands to, pay us fairly and, reimburse us for the mileage and yada, yada, yada. So hopefully, that'll happen. But if not, I'll have to come up with some clever signs to make. The only slogan I've thought of so far is, to put it bluntly, pay us reasonably, with an emphasis on the word blunt. So it's, because I probably shouldn't draw cartoon characters on unless what cartoon characters are already associated with smoking weed?
Towley from South Park.
Oh yeah. And I guess Jay and Silent Bob would probably count now.
Probably, yeah.
Technically, you could probably do Shaggy also from Scooby-Doo.
It's not canon. I don't want to.
Fair enough.
As much as I hate Zaslav, I would like to work for Warner Brothers, or at least have that possibility someday. But Towley would be safe because Towley's Towley, you know.
Randy, Integrity
Randy
Farms,
Marsh,
Randy Marsh.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, there was something else I was going to tell you about, but if I remember it, I'll say it later. So yeah, what have you been up to since last week?
Well, quick animation talk. Are you caught up on this season of The Simpsons?
Yes.
I just watched 4 episodes while I was working on the FuMPCast compilation for 2023, and I just saw the Murder She Boat episode with the nerd boat.
That was from last season, I think.
No, that was this season. I think.
Okay.
You know what? I'm not sure. Let me see.
If it's not last season, it was
no,
early
it was
this season.
December 2023. So it's this
okay.
this season. But oh my God, for the people who haven't seen this episode, they do a nerd cruise, and it's the I forgot the name of the ship. It was something Princess Leia, and like everyone on board is in
the Pacific Princess Leia.
Pacific Princess Leia. That's what it was.
Yeah,
and like they do a parody of the song "The Love Boat" called "The Nerd Boat," and I laughed so hard. And my son was just looking at me like, "What the hell is your problem?" Because he's never heard the Love Boat theme.
Yeah.
So, but oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah, and then Taika Waititi as himself in that episode
Yes.
was brilliant.
Yes, and like the fact that he was willing to do that part, it was so good.
Because, like, I mean, there are nerd cruises, but to me, that was more specifically parodying, like, the Disney Cruise Lines type things, where it's like, here's all the princesses, and here's the Marvel people, and here's the Star Wars people. It's like that kind of a pop culture-y thing. And, I remember when that episode came out, I'm like, wow, it's I love the fact that I have to assume that for the most part, when Disney bought The Simpsons, and everyone's like, oh, what's Disney going to tell The Simpsons? They can't do this or that. And I think the worst they said was like, hey, could you have Patty and Selma not smoke anymore? Thanks. Other than that, do whatever you want. Do the thing you do. We bought you because you're successful at the thing you do, so you continue to do that more. So, so yeah.
Yeah, so that was so good. Such a great episode.
And I've always said anyone who criticizes The Simpsons for not being good, since the 10th season,
hasn't
watched it since the 10th season.
Yeah,
so they
I
don't
agree.
know it's still great. So, yeah.
Well, the thing is, those first, 10 to 12 seasons were the ones that were in syndication like five times a day. So, we saw those episodes dozens of times, and they're just all part of our psyche. And then after that, was kind of when people started canceling cable, and, people started to fall off of watching it. And so like the last 10 to 15 seasons, I assume they're still in syndication, but I don't have cable, so I don't know. But like, they're not, being replayed every day and part of our psyche anymore. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Plus the fact that they were there when physical media was still a thing. I mean, there were VHS collections and then eventually, DVD box sets of like the first 20 seasons, so people could rewatch them themselves at home. And then at a certain point, it was just like, well, they're on streaming, so, everyone will watch the individual episodes as they come out, and then nobody ever really goes to rewatch them unless they're a super fan and they like just having it on and rewatching.
Yeah.
So, another thing that I've discovered, and this is based on like the past 2 or 3 times I've been to hotels, and then I flip through to see like what channels are on the live TV and like what is on that I actually would want to have on. Literally every time I turn on Comedy Central, any time of the day, South Park is on. So much like Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, I was just going to say Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, it's like I just feel like I know they're doing the Daily Show because they brought Jon Stewart back, so I know at least 1/2 hour of the day is not South Park. It's the Daily Show. So, but yeah, as far as I can tell from my random hotel, I'm going to turn on the TV and put on Comedy Central. Oh, it's South Park yet again. So, and even that once, like those episodes, they hold up awesomely too.
Oh,
like,
they really do. Yeah.
We randomly, like, Kalani was in the room at WonderCon, and we turned on the episode from, like, I think it's, sometime during the Obama presidency, and it was a Halloween episode where Randy buys a Blockbuster Video, and it's, like, the last one, and he's like, yeah, this is going to be a big cash cow, and like, because everyone's going to rent scary movies at Halloween, and like, nobody's coming, and he basically starts losing his mind, like in The Shining, because nobody's coming to the Blockbuster. and then the 4 boys are going to go trick-or-treating as the Avengers, but Randy makes Stan stay at the store to work, so instead, they basically put they stick an iPad on a wagon and they have Stan on FaceTime as Captain America. so it's like it's like Cartman is Hulk, well, whatever it is, it's the 4 of them, but then there's like Stan on a thing. Yeah. So
That's
anyways,
awesome.
but
Yeah.
it just still holds up, still
Yeah.
freaking funny. Anyway,
my favorite episodes were probably the Easter episode, which was the Da Vinci Code parody. And, oh my God, that was so good. And it was not only was it really funny, it was brilliantly written. Like, that was such a good episode. And the other one, of course, is when Timmy and Jimmy joined the Crips, because holy shit, that was funny.
So, one, I think it was I forgot how many episodes of an arc it was, like 3 or 4 episodes, but I kind of at some point want to rewatch the Imagination Land arc, just for how it's like they almost, like, The Simpsons predicts the future. It's like South Park kind of predicted the multiverse, fad, because this was literally every character anyone has ever imagined exists in Imagination Land. And they're all
Imagination Land is where me and my wife are. She actually never watched The Simpsons or South Park, so we're watching through both of them, and it's really fun watching it with somebody who's never seen it or never seen most of the episodes before, because it's brand new for her.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. So, the only thing really I've been up to report is I did another one of those live streams here on Twitch on Tuesday night. I put my bandwidth to the test, and it seemed to hold up pretty well. We're doing pretty well tonight too. I think the Optimum Bunny may have solved our problems. So yay, Optimum Bunny. So yeah, this was my second of the live stream where I'm just sitting here, rapping at people. And I felt much more comfortable this time. It was felt more like a performance that I was used to doing. I tried not to repeat any songs that I had done the previous time. Not that it really matters, but I mean, it's the same people watching for both streams, so I didn't want to repeat too much. And I debuted my cover of What's Up, Spock.
So. Oh, cool. Awesome.
Hi, Cubert. So if you want to see that, the replay is still up. I ended with What's Up, Spock, so if you want to watch that, jump to the end. So that's still up on my channel at twitch.tv/DevoSpice. Other than that, I've kind of started getting ready for RavenCon, and I've been starting, working on the FuMPFest 2023 compilation, and there's a bunch of other projects going on. And unfortunately, I have a freelance project which came in. I say unfortunately because I don't want to work on it. I have other stuff to do. I know it's money, which I need, but I don't want to do it. So that's enough. So, Mike, what have you been up to?
Oh, I have been busy working on music stuff mostly. I got a new streaming show I'm working on. I got some new songs I've been working on. I got a Jeff Whitmire song I actually just started last night.
Cool.
And
always enjoy those.
Oh yeah, it's a good one too. You're gonna enjoy it.
Nice.
But I won't say too much.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Yeah.
Not my secret to share. But yeah, that's about it. Just music and all the time now.
Just music and music and music. Yeah,
Right.
I need to do that because I need to focus on music when I have a pile of stuff to do hanging over me. But I have another. I thought of another cover song that I want to put on my covers album. So I need to do it now. So. All right, so you posted a song.
I did.
Give us a quick intro. We will give it a listen.
Well, this is one of those songs that kind of just talks about itself. So, yeah.
All right, here is Stoner Rock by Two Sleeps.
Can play the same chords over and over again, and it doesn't even matter to you because I do it with soul, and I can sing the same lines over and same lines over and over again, and it doesn't even matter to you because we're hitting a bomb. Well, I can play the same chords over and over again, and it doesn't even matter to you because we're having a bash. And I can sing the same lines over and over again, and it doesn't even matter to you because we're smoking some hash. And I can play along solo over and over again, and it doesn't even matter to you because we're not keeping tabs. And I will play along solo over and over again, and it doesn't even matter to you because we're torching some dabs.
So first of all, thank you for making that only 6.5 minutes long and not like 17 minutes long.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but the next one's going to be called Psychedelic Rock, and that one's probably going to be about 18 minutes long.
All right.
I'll try to make sure it's in a month where there's some short songs so
Okay.
it'll fit on the CD.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, if you could, if the one after that could be very just like be a quick like like you're saying something, that would be a blessed utter.
Very good. Yeah. So, what inspired this song?
The idea kind of started from a bit on Parks and Rec. There's I don't know if you watch that show.
No, I've seen a couple episodes, but I've never watched it really.
Okay. There's just kind of a smarmy city councilman who's really obnoxious and annoys people all the time. And he's bragging to this group of people about how he saw this Warrant cover band called Cherry Pie. And then he goes, and they're like, what was that, dude? And he's like, just general rock. So I was like, well, it might be funny to do a song called General Rock where you just like talk about all the stereotypes about, but I started writing it and was like, there's so many different kinds of rock. I feel like this needs to be like a number of different songs. So I figured with 420 coming up, we would do stoner rock first.
Okay. So why didn't you release it on or near 420?
Because stoners are forgetful, so I figured it's better to have it up early.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Bringing it back to The Simpsons, that episode where they're talking about legalizing marijuana, they all get stoned and miss the election.
Yep.
So yeah, I love this type of meta humor, especially when it's really well done. And this one, it's like the song itself is the joke more than anything else, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I was like, do I make the lyrics funny or do I just make the entire concept funny? Let's do that one.
Doing the concept, making the concept funny for a song can be much more difficult, especially to pull it off well.
And in this case, it just meant I got to do a bunch of guitar soloing, so, it worked out.
Yes. So you did all the music yourself for this?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a real problem working with other people, so most of my stuff is just me.
He says to the guy who works with him on Manic Mondays.
Right. No, I kid, but I'm just really picky, so.
Well, I mean, your attention to detail is kind of amazing, and so I mean, I can see how working with someone else who maybe doesn't have that same attention to detail can be frustrating.
Yeah, I do want to start collaborating more. I need to step out of my comfort zone a bit. So, any of the other rockin' thumpers want to do something? Let me know.
Do you ever perform live besides the Twitch stream?
I used to years ago, and I'm gonna start. I'm actually writing a bunch of original songs for another streaming show. The one I do now is just me with an acoustic, but the other show I'm working on is going to be full backing tracks and like the whole production. I got a laser light machine and the whole thing.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So once I get that going, I'll probably start playing around open mics and see about doing some local shows too.
Nice, cool. This going to be comedy music or real music?
It's going to be kind of half and half. I've always written music kind of like presidents of the United States, where it's like I don't necessarily intentionally set out to be funny, but like every second or third song I do just ends up being kind of funny because I'm just a goofball and I can't not be funny.
Yeah. It's kind of like Ailstorm. Not all of their songs are funny, but a lot of them really are.
Exactly.
So what else is going on with you? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. I don't know. I just started listening to Dave Grohl's book on audiobook. That's pretty interesting.
Which book?
That dude and I have a lot in what is it? The Storyteller?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's very entertaining. I'm probably about halfway through it, and yeah, he
seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Everything I've read and heard about him, he just seems like a great guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Studio 666 was phenomenal. So
that was. That must have been so much fun to make too.
Yeah.
You can tell that they were just having a freaking blast when they did it.
I like in the 2011 Muppets movie, when we're kind of getting the band back together, they go to Reno, and Fozzie has a job there, like singing with like kind of a Muppets tribute band called the Moo Pets, and like each one of the Moo Pets is kind of like an off version of some existing Muppet. And Dave Grohl is the drummer, who's kind of sort of dressed like Animal in a way, but as a human being, like he's just part of the band.
That's funny. In his book, he actually talks about how when he was a kid, he didn't have any formal instruction. So when he first started playing, he compares himself to Animal. Like, I was just full of all this rage and pent up aggression, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I just started hitting things with sticks.
Yeah. And then in the 2014 Muppets like sitcom thing, which I really loved, Dave Grohl comes on Miss Piggy's like talk show and stuff. So they actually shot a sequence that they put over the closing credits of that episode, where it's like a drum battle between Dave Grohl and Animal.
Oh, I've seen that. That's great. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I remember Dave Grohl like saying when he first started with Nirvana, it was like, well, you just get together and you play and you suck and you suck and you suck and you suck and you suck, and then you start to suck a little less, and then you're Nirvana, you know. It's like okay, sure. Doesn't quite work out that way for everyone, but okay.
Right. Minus the Nirvana part.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, yeah. Check out my Twitch show. Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/2sleepsmusic. I'm currently doing a show every Saturday at 2:30 Central, and going to be starting another show soon. I'm also doing a special little mini show on April 20th at 2:30 Central, so that'll be a fun one. We're going to do some weed songs. And,
you're going to play this one?
I might. I'm hoping to have it ready by then, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's move on to news and stuff. Are you going to stick around, or are you taking off?
I can stick around.
All righty. Let's do some news and a promo.
This is the FuMP.
I know I'm a dork, and I wanna sing something dumb all day. Yes, I do. Ow, I love parodies. I just wanna sing something dumb all day.
I'll wrap around your jumbo shrimp and get your heart a-racing, and always leave you satisfied if I can be your bacon.
But some things you can't have your way. Could you just let her watch her boyfriend play? You can't stand Swifties.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
For the my brains, get me off this train. This really is a pain. Should've took a plane. Get me off this train.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news, The Lonely Island has started a podcast with Seth Meyers, which is called The Lonely Island and Seth Meyers Podcast. They will be talking about the Lonely Island digital shorts and their time on SNL. The first episode dropped the other day on the 8th, and this podcast is available wherever podcasts are found.
Hey, speaking of podcasts being available wherever podcasts are found, why isn't Manic Mondays on Spotify?
I thought it was. It's not?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I will look into that because I thought it was.
Here, I'll open Spotify and see if I can find it.
Okay, let me know. Ninja Sex Party has started a Patreon at patreon.com/NSP. Danny says, we can't wait to give you a sneak peeks into upcoming projects, behind-the-scenes content, and Danny's sock drawer. For the low, low cost of 20 gumballs a month, you can join the musical journey that is Ninja Sex Party. Don your finest kimonos and get ready to rock the heck on. And the Patreon actually appears to be free. I don't know if they have any additional tiers or not. But check out patreon.com/NSP.
Okay, my mistake. It is on Spotify. For some reason, I know I've looked for it before and I didn't find it, but now I'm looking on my PC. I found it. So, bleh. So I'm dumb.
I'm just responding to the chat. All right. That's all the news I got this week. Anything else before tour dates?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee. Steve Goody hosting at the Bluebird. Sundays online, 2 sleeps. Is it Sundays or Saturdays?
Sundays. Saturday's just the one 420 show.
Gotcha. Okay. I thought you said Saturday before, so I'm confused. Mondays online, Steve Goody and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. Mondays and Wednesdays online, Bill Larkin. On the 12th in Newport, South Beach, Oregon, Steve Goody. On the 12th online, Carla Ulbrich. The 12th and 13th in New Orleans, Louisiana, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 13th in Lincoln City, Oregon, Steve Goody. The 13th in Doylestown, Pennsylvania, Carla Ulbrich. The 14th on YouTube, Escape from the Secret Lab, featuring the Consortium of Genius. The 14th and 15th in Boise, Idaho, Steve Goody. The 16th online, the virtual comedy show with Steve Goody and Brad Tassel, featuring Carla Ulbrich. On the 17th in Santaquin, Utah, Steve Goody. 19th and 20th in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. On the 20th in Denver, Colorado, Bolognium. The 20th and 21st in Salem, Oregon, the Chris Waffle Explosion. And the 21st in Chicago, Illinois, Steve Goody. And birthdays coming up on the 16th. Dino Mike. Happy birthday, Mike.
Woo, Dino Mike.
Also happens to be my wife's birthday. All right. Second song of the week. Well, I can't say it's a new song, but it is a new song. It's a new version of an old song that includes parts of the original recording. So it's a combination of a new song and an old song. Here is Baby's Head 2024 by Ukla the Mock.
This is a song. Baby's got a soft spot, 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 baby's got a on his head, baby's got a soft spot. Baby's got a little round soft spot, squishy little soft spot, soft spot. Right, he's got a soft of his head on my head with the sutures that close. My head has a ridge on it. On my skull, got a soft spot. Baby got a soft spot. Baby's got a soft spot. Baby's got a soft spot on his head. On his head. On his head. He's my little baby brother. Stuff mom says shouldn't go there, like a pencil or my finger or my thumb up to the second knuckle. Adam said he never was gonna sing that lyric. Forks and spoons, knives and pieces of paper, cigarette butts and sound equipment, shoes, pack lenses, guitar cases. Tells me stuff shouldn't go there. She tells me day in, day out, don't put any stuff there. I said I wasn't gonna. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that baby's got a soft spot, 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 baby's got a little squishy spot, smooth with a soft spot underneath the hair. It's just sitting there waiting for me. I never look at it that much, so Mom got real mad when I tried to put her earrings there. Baby's got a soft spot. 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 Baby's got a soft spot on his head. On his head. On his head. On his head. Baby's got a soft spot on his head. 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 On his holes. Baby's got a head spot.
Kidneys, lungs.
Now, did you know that when babies are born, their umbilical cords have to get like clipped with a clothespin and they fall off?
Did you know that Teddy Roosevelt was born with a full set of baby teeth? Swear to God, it's true. I'm not kidding. This is really true.
Yeah, no kidding.
But he had a soft spot, even though.
Baby had a soft spot. I said Roosevelt had a soft spot. Roosevelt had a soft spot. He carried a big stick, but he didn't put it in a soft spot. Baby had a soft spot. Baby had a soft spot.
Even Elvis had a soft spot
on his head. The king had a soft spot. Elvis still has a soft spot because Elvis is not dead. Elvis is still alive.
That's right.
Baby's got a soft spot. Baby's got a soft spot. Baby's got a soft spot on his head.
Hey, make the noise. Make the noise.
I am here with Ookla the Mock. Welcome back, guys.
How's it going?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
So, tell us about this thing you posted.
Yeah. Well, the oldest Ookla fans might be aware that in 1992, this predates Ookla the Mock, Adam and I started writing songs together, I think in like late fall of 1991. And in the fall of 1992, we recorded what most people know as the Rand and Adam tape, which we actually called Poor Man's Copyright, which was just a hastily recorded live, like a 4-track live recording of us playing guitar and singing the 16 songs we had written.
It's terrible. I mean, the whole thing is performed live. There's only a couple of songs that we, started over to do, but the rest of it is just.
Very much. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because and we had 15 songs written, and because Adam and I are certainly both guilty of overthinking things and wanting things to kind of have a symmetry to them.
What do you mean?
It certainly bothered me, and I believe Adam as well, that that we didn't want to have a cassette tape, which is what this was going to be, with a different number of songs, and so we wanted 8 songs on each side, and so we decided to improvise a song, which became Baby's Head. Now, at the time, we were so dumb and so young that we thought improvise meant literally you had to make it up as you went along in every aspect. We, of course, later realized that most people improvise things by running it a few times, kind of having their notes, and then either editing together the best takes or, after you do it several times, you create it. Now, so what you're hearing is literally this is the only time we've ever performed this song.
Now, I would come right out and say, yes, we have this neat new recording of the song out, but this is, of all the songs we've ever written, I would say this is the very worst one because we didn't write it.
Because it wasn't written. That's what. Well, at any rate, Adam's absolutely correct. I mean, the idea of this was on the Rand and Adam tape, and because of its, people seem to like it. They seem to think it was funny, and almost immediately people were like, "Oh, you should do that one live. You should do that one live." And we're like, "Well, no, it was improv. Why would we do it live? It wouldn't work." And people, because we recorded it, because we've kind of walked away from it, our oldest fans still ask for it all the time. And we've been this year we've been kind of experimenting a bit with using AI software to strip our vocals, from some of our recordings to get backing tracks for potential, live performances. We've been doing that.
the as you know, Devo, I had a stroke and I can't play guitar and piano anymore. So we've been using like AI karaoke software to strip old recordings of Ukla so that they're like karaoke tracks. So that we can hopefully play out live, at some cons at time in the future,
And we've been doing that, with our friend Doug White, who was a member of the band for years, and we continue to work with him as a engineer and mixing and mastering guy. And we showed up at the studio to work on some of these tracks a few weeks ago. And when we got there, Doug was like, "What do you guys think of this?" And he had taken the random tape recording of Baby's Head and stripped it of its guitar, and then added drums and guitar and bass to it. And we were both like, hadn't had a chance to think about or hear that song in 25 years, and so, but we obviously were amused by it, and so we thought we would put it up here. It's to get back to what Adam was saying now about certainly when we were listening to it in the studio, we were both talking about how, if we had actually decided to compose this, there are certain aspects of it that are like, oh, that's an interesting melody, or we should have returned to that theme, melodically or whatever. And so, but that's the thing is what you're hearing is an improvisation as opposed to a composition. So, but again, I think it does have a certain charm, I suppose.
Yeah. And
so all the instruments. Oh, go ahead. There you go.
You said in your description you didn't want to re-record it because there was a certain charm to the original take. And I've run into that myself, like especially early on when I was first recording music. I would do a song and then I would get some new piece of equipment and I'm like, oh, that's a good song. I should redo it with the new equipment so it sounds better. And I never liked the remake as good as much as I liked the original song, because there was just some kind of freshness and energy to the original that I was never able to recapture when I was doing it again.
Yeah. And I also think that like it's a no-win situation if we were to re-record this song, because Adam and I, like I said, we're never huge fans of this. That like if we were to write it, like we would never want to re-record it as it exists. And if we were to re-record it, we would rewrite it, which is to say we would probably anger all the people that actually like this version of it, and the people that don't like this version of it would be totally confused about why we recorded a new version of it anyway. So what were you going to say, Adam? Though you were going to.
Well, just that all the instrument. This is the vocals only from that track, and all the instruments were done by Doug White. So
he just totally like, here you go, guys. What do you think? Like we had no input.
We had no input on the arrangement. No, it sounds fun. It's very, very cursy.
Yeah, I love that you guys were surprised by it. I love that.
Well, he said literally said, I have a little surprise for you guys. And
he obviously put a lot of love into it, and and I remember he said like I mean Doug, of course, we started working with Doug in 1996, and he was a member of the band from 1997 through like 2001 or 2002, and so he was definitely at all those kind of early, like when we were really starting to come up within fandom, and so he was like, you're old school Ukla fans are going to love this. Like he was super excited about, us getting it out there.
Well, so the Random Adam tape, we there's this song and there's, I think maybe one other song on that we have not ever re-recorded.
I think there's 4 others, believe it or not.
Oh, really? Well, okay. I guess that short one, the Renoir song, we never re-recorded, did we?
No, I mean, Stranger in the Mirror technically has never been re-recorded. So there's Stranger in the Mirror, Renoir song, Jeff's Corner, and
let's remake
Stranger
in the Mirror.
And Lemino's song would be the other one. And there's a again, like this is the problem, because I have this experience as a fan. When you hear about a song that's deleted, or that can't be, easily found or isn't, like you get super excited about it. And then, most of the time you get to it and you're like, yeah, I can see why that, not, then it's like,
Yeah, that was a deleted scene for a reason.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like sometimes you get a deleted scene. You're like, oh man, that would have made the movie better. But a lot of times you're like, yeah, I can see why they cut that. Not that it's bad, but that it doesn't fit the flow of whatever.
Right.
And so, yeah, I don't, like Stranger in the Mirror. Yeah, we probably haven't recorded that, because that's remained part of our live set at least.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Stranger in the Mirror is fun.
That's, there is a live version of that on our live album. So, it's available. But yeah, we've never done a studio recording of it. But the others, I doubt we will see a studio recording of.
Yeah, probably not.
You should just redo the whole Rand and Adam tape. Just
I was going to say, the people have really reacted. Anybody that likes the original versions of the Rand and Adam tape don't like the new versions, even on Less Than Art, which came out in 97, it was
like Viewmaster is on the Rand and Adam tape.
Yeah.
And when Less Than Art came out, someone who was a fan of the Rand and Adam tape, who didn't actually know Adam or I, he came upon it, through a friend of ours, said to this friend of ours, he goes, "Will you tell Rand and Adam that people are angry?" Like that's the quote. People are, because we changed the line to
used to 6-string guitar.
Yeah, to a second-hand guitar. Yeah, like we changed a couple of lines like that, and he couldn't handle it. So
yep.
So yeah, if we were to, and I will say, Devo, that like Adam was saying, most of the songs, like if there's 16 songs, I guess 11 of them have appeared on various official Ookla recordings. Like our first 3 records have 3 songs each from the Rand and Adam tape.
Okay.
And then I think Math from the Nirvana EP was on the Rand and Adam tape. And then Cliche, which was a bonus track we recorded that as a bonus track for the Less Than Art re-release, was on the Rand and Adam tape. So, so we've, most of them have been, and I suppose if you really, anyone that truly wants to hear the Rand and Adam tape, like through our Patreon, there is a way you can unlock a digital copy of it, but we don't really want to make it. I think everyone that hears it will agree that you wouldn't want
they weren't lying. This is terrible.
Well, no, but you want it to, it's for someone who's already a fan. You wouldn't want someone to stumble across that as the first thing they hear.
Yes, I did that with a Kickstarter a while ago where I released all of my early sudden death recording, the basement tapes, that I did. Yeah. And I posted it for $400 as a package because I was like, I don't want someone throwing $20 at this and getting, 300 songs, 200 of which are terrible. And I'm like, I want a hardcore fan to, who's curious about where I came from and how I, got better over the years.
It is, and it's one of the problems with musicians at our level of popularity and YouTube. And what I mean by that is that, like, if you go, if you look for, you're taking Blues Traveler into YouTube, you're going to pull up Hook and what's their other big,
Run Around.
And Run Around. Like there may be some really weird, hard to find stuff, but you're going to get the hits going to come up right up top. With I bet if you type Devo Spice or Sudden Death into YouTube, what you pull up is something that you haven't released, something that's really, and so like the Rand and Adam tape recording of Stranger in the Mirror and like our demo of Mr. Wharf are like 2 of the most popular tracks of ours on YouTube because they're the things that you could only hear on YouTube.
Yeah.
We didn't put them there, but someone did, but because of that, a stranger typing into, what's this Ookla like, is going to pull up the Rand and Adam tape recording of Stranger in the Mirror, and so it is kind of, I know it's kind of,
that's probably,
what did you say?
That's probably one of the reasons for our, failure to be rock stars.
I'm sure that's it. Yeah. But, so yeah. But at any rate, we're, this, we hope that our oldest fans enjoy hearing this thing. And we hope that, our newest fans forgive us. So,
Yes, I'm sure you will do quite well with this song. So, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
You always ask us this, and we're always like,
yeah.
no.
Well, no,
not
we're
good.
well actually in a couple weeks. It's what next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend is FuMP Ontario in Toronto, and Adam and I will be in attendance. We don't, have a concert, but we are in attendance, and we'll probably certainly be performing in the circles and hanging out there. So you can do
First
that.
time we've done together in many years.
Yeah, and then also later in the summer, oh my gosh, I've forgotten the NASFIC.
NASFIC, yes.
Is going to be in Buffalo, and actually my wife Erin is actually running the FuMP there. So I would imagine that Adam and I will probably be there. And again, we don't really whether we have a concert or not will probably depend on how these backing tracks that we're working on go. But it's certainly conceivable that we would be performing there as well. So, but it hasn't been officially booked yet.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
And
great to see you, Devo.
You too. And if nothing else, I'll see you at NASFIC.
It sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Take care, man.
Take care.
Guys.
Bye.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback.
Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, let's sing a song about Lee, you're testing my ADD.
Eclectic Lee wrote, "It seems like pre-recording threw you off your game a little because no one said the title in episode 720. I know you'll want to say you're sorry about that, but I assure you that however you do it, you'll apologize wrong." Should I give him the? Yeah, let's do the. That was last week's title. So, Eclectically also said, "Oh, by the way, who did the music for Bonnie Gordon's Masochism Tango?" That would be that guy right there. That would be Mike Bali.
I did that. I really did.
Yes, and I forgot that you did that, and I texted Bonnie during the interview, and I'm like, "Who did the Masochism Tango?" And she's like. She was like, I don't remember. Can you check I'll check my email when I get home. And I was like, oh, email, right. She's like, you introduced. I have a terrible memory. So she's like, you introduced us. I'm like, oh, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
facilitated that.
I was like, oh, it's Mike. He's on the show.
Perfect. Serendipity.
So Bonnie says, tell him how much I appreciated it again. So.
Well, that's awesome because I had a great time working on it. I did Jeff Whitmire's song too. I did 3 songs on that album.
Yeah, you're one of those people who just works a lot behind the scenes for the FuMP. We appreciate it immensely.
Well, I love doing it.
All right, so that is all the feedback we got. So
teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Steve Goody. And
Tuesday's song is not yet posted.
Tuesday's song is by an artist we haven't heard from in some time, and I am very excited to hear his new song. So we'll have to wait and see what he does. All right. Playlist topic for this week. Do you guys have any suggestions? If not, I'm going to go with Luke's Who's On First idea. If I could figure out enough songs to do that. No? Okay.
Well, I assume you've already done, weed songs at some point recently.
Yeah, I'll do weed next week for 420.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it'll be closer. Okay,
yeah. Yeah, that's a week from Saturday, so I'll do weed next week. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that Who's On First bit this week if I can, and we'll see how that goes. All right, Ookla. They're at ooklathamok.com. I think.
I think so.
Yep, they are. ooklathamok.com. That's ooklathamok.com. And Mike, plug yourself one more time.
Twitch.tv/2sleepsmusic.
All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski.
I'm Two Sleeps.
Woo! Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of FIDM Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
Too little, too diddle, Pooty.